Capcom has not been slowing down at all with the Resident Evil remakes lately, doing 2, 3, and of course most recently 4, and with the ending of 4 seemingly hinting at a Resident Evil 5 remake, it has a lot of fans questioning what will be next. Will it be Resident Evil 5, or will it be something different? The most prominent theories being Code Veronica X, Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 1. I'm going to go over in this video why I think those could happen and why I think those might not be the case. Of course, I think they all will get remakes at some point, but in this video I'm focusing on what do I think will be next. I guess we'll go in order here. I'll start with Resident Evil 1. Now, you might be thinking Resident Evil 1 already got a remake. Of course, we know, but it's not really a modern day remake. You can't put it on the same level as the 2, 3, and 4 remakes. Now, first I'd like to say I don't think Resident Evil 1 needs another remake. I think our remake that we already have is peak survival horror gameplay. I've 100%ed it. It is one of the best games, if not the best game I've ever played. Now, in order for this to make sense, I think we would have to look at the past remakes as 2 and 3 telling the stories of Raccoon City, and then 2 and 4 telling the story of Leon, with 3 mainly following Jill. Now, this is where it gets a little bit rocky and why I think 1 remake probably will not be next, because it wouldn't make sense for them to go back and do 1 remake after remaking 2, 3, and 4. However, it would be a great way to tell the beginning of the story between Jill, Chris, and Wesker to help modern day Resident Evil fans kind of understand where Wesker comes from, why he's a bad guy, why he doesn't like Chris and Jill, and all of that. But once again, I truly believe if they were going to remake Resident Evil 1, they would have already done it, at least a modern day remake. Of course, they could have just decided that Resident Evil 1 remake is good enough, meaning that the current canon timeline would be 0, 1, and then the remakes. Alright, on to Code Veronica X, which is probably one of the most heated debates in the community right now. I even made a video on this, and it was received pretty 50-50. It was one of my more controversial videos, and of course it got so many views. That was like the one video that blew up, right? Now, I think a Code Veronica remake would be a great idea to once again cover the story of why Wesker does not like Chris, where he comes from as a villain, as well as showing us what Claire has been up to in the canon timeline. And just quickly let me preface that we don't actually know what is considered the canon timeline. Really, you could say all the games are canon, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to consider the canon Resident Evil timeline currently being Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 remake, and then all the modern day remakes as well. Now, for my one reason as to why I think Code Veronica is not getting remade next. Because it doesn't make sense. Why would they have done 4 remake first if Code Veronica X was in the plans and it takes place literally right before Resident Evil 4? There's no reason to release 4 first if CVX goes into 4 anyway. They could have done it the other way around. Now listen, I'm not a CVX hater, and I know a lot of people are passionate about their Code Veronica X remake, but I just don't think it would make sense currently for them to remake it. That doesn't mean it won't happen. I just think if it's next, that would be really weird. Alright, now on to what I believe to be the most likely option, just given the simple fact that going in numerical order, 5 is next, as well as the ending of the Resident Evil 4 remake. They seem to really be hammering home the idea of Resident Evil 5 remake on the horizon, especially with Separate Ways DLC, even playing Wesker's Winds of Madness theme. Now, I don't care about the controversy with the 5 remake and what some people are saying, just some brain-dead statements about Resident Evil 5 being racist or having racial undertones. Literally, no, it doesn't. If you think that, you're just wrong and you can't make your own opinion. If you're going to call Resident Evil 5 racist, then you're going to call Resident Evil 4 racist, Resident Evil 6 racist, and I don't even have to go into why. If you can't figure that out yourself, then you are the problem. So, why do I think Resident Evil 5 Remake is not possible? Well, I don't. I think that's the most logical remake to do next, and I see no reason as to why it wouldn't happen next. Simple as that. Following the order of the past 3 games released, what makes the most sense, also given the 4 remake ending, what makes the most sense that would be next? If you say anything other than 5 remake, you are lying to yourself, you are in denial. It'll be okay. Also, I'd just like to quickly say I'm not going over leaks. Leaks are just that, they're leaks. They're not really trustworthy, and sometimes, while they have been right, they've also not been right, and I want to strictly focus on what we have seen thus far officially from Capcom themselves. Now, before we end the video, I do want to give some honorable mentions. I think Operation Raccoon City is a possibility. With the Capcom leak happening a couple years ago, Resident Evil Hunk was a name listed on the Capcom leak list. That could possibly be a remake for Operation Raccoon City. And then there has been speculation about a Resident Evil 0 remake recently, which I don't really see happening. I feel like Capcom just wants to forget about Resident Evil 0, but you guys let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about this. I want to hear your thoughts, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Be safe. Peace out.